what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Hope everyone's having a great week thus far. Happy Hump Day. Today, got a boat have yet to feature on the channel. It's the William Durst, or the Bill, as we say lovingly on my channel and in my group of friends. Speaking of group of friends, a very good friend there, Mr. Gino, checking out his snazzy camo on his bill there. Got an interesting game here today. Looking at the lineups here, um, from a DD standpoint, Z42, Daring, Lucian, and Benham on our team. Summers, Hoffman, Lucian, and Z44 here. Lucian's going to play alright. Our DDs in this game are going to be, it's going to be a little rough, we'll say. We'll just say that. A little rough from a DD standpoint, which is going to make this a unique game. Right off the rip, I unfortunately clipped the booty of the Salem there. I was hoping that this wouldn't happen, but whatever, it did. So just disregard this first moment here. And already our Lucian is going over towards Bravo. We've got the Z46 staying over towards A, and then D Summers and the G Hoffman over towards Charlie. From the split here, Gino and I decide to head over towards the Charlie area. So what's unique about the William Durst? So it's got some really nice guns. It's got 419s. It is modeled after a G3 class battle cruiser that supposedly could have been laid down by the British in the 1920s for the Netherlands. And already right off the rip here, we've got a Prince Adalbert here. He's a solid player, but making a unique push into our Z46, which is unfortunate for the Z46. However, I mean, this is ballsy by Adalbert. I'm kind of not sure what he's thinking here. Maybe he's just thinking most people won't be able to shoot at that sort of range. However, Gino and I are both here, and we both know how to shoot. This Durst, or the Prince Adalbert, is going to get a rude awakening. Gino doing some work there. I'm putting rounds into him. The 419s on this boat are very nice. And of course, that's a unique caliber in the game. It does some unique things from an overmatch standpoint on certain boats, as well as just hit pretty hard. And they're fairly accurate guns. So always a fan of that. The one downfall about these sort of class of battleships here is that their side armor is completely weak. And we get some real nice hits on the Adalbert there, getting some Citadel's 4 pens as well as taking out their engine. So kind of dead in the water, forcing them to burn their DCP. And yeah, he obviously did some work there on our Z, which is unfortunate for the Z. But the Prince Adalbert is now out and not allowed to make that push anymore. And they were a solid player too, statistically. So I don't know, maybe they just wanted to try something different there. So again, as mentioned, 419s, G3 class battle cruiser, supposedly with the chance of being laid down, and it gets bombs. So get this HE bomb airstrike, which is very nice, and that's kind of what Gino and I are wanting to, really utilize and take advantage of. Again, as I mentioned, the side armor doo-doo. However, with most of these sort of shape ships and battle cruiser type things, if you stay bow on, okay. So we get a Citadel there into the Republic as well, some more damage, and you can see I'm dropping my bombs onto the Hawaii here, which is pretty cool. That'll be helpful. And the Republic's making a very aggressive push there. Gonna get some more shots, and I'm detected here. And notice that there's a whole bunch of smoke nearby us. And I think I'm looking at the Mammoth, and then I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to go dark. Gino gets a really nice bomb drop on the Illinois, taking them down to almost half HP. I go dark here, looking for shots on this Mammoth. The Illinois is going to be kind of farming me out here. And yeah, I get spotted all of a sudden. So I'm like, oh crap. And then, maybe a little bit too late, Gino also realizes that he's spotted. So the DD's like just outside of their smoke, which is not ideal. I pull behind this rock. However, It's a little too late for Gino there, and Gino's going to take some big damage here by the DD, which is really, really unfortunate. Um, Again, both of our destroyers over here just kind of doing the same crap, and I'm honestly not going to be too happy with our Hoffman here a little bit later in the game. Um, they're just petrified of caps. We get some shots here. Very, very nice grouping again. Very nice guns here on the William de Erst. And we get some big chunk damage into the Mammoth. Looking over at the Repub, I'm going to drop my bombs and kind of lead my bombs there for this turnout. Unfortunately, Gino gets taken out here by the Mammoth. Right as I said it all, it was unfortunate that I did not get a dev strike there to help him. So put these into there. Our Brennan is over here as well, and the Patre too. Get really, really nice hits into the Republic. We're at 126k. However, our team is down by 200 points. This is going to be an interesting game too, from a standpoint of back and forth gameplay, and just a lot of frustrating things here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pick up the kill here in the Republic. We're going to get some torpedo protection hits on their broadside and an overpen, because that makes sense. But our Patre and Brennan are there to work them over. I'm going to pin, type in chat here, we need to capture A, and the Hoffman right away is like negative. I don't understand some of the things that were going on by our destroyers here. Just zero regard really for wanting to contest caps. Minus really our Lucian, who's in a bit of a pickle there and unfortunately goes down. But this foam eventually tries. This Hoffman is just living their best life playing Microsoft Boat Simulator, unfortunately, which is going to be a detriment to our team. If you look over in Bravo there, we've got a Salem in Bravo, and the Salem is going to go on a goated run here to kind of equal out the fact that some of our destroyers aren't maybe not playing the best. And this Patre is going to be here to help me. I'm going to push into Charlie, because even if we don't pick up the cap, we need to stall those points here. I'm at 130k here. The other unique thing here too about this captain that I'm running, so with this captain that I have on here, if you for every 50,000 damage that you do, your damage is increased by, I think it's like 8% or something like that, which is really, really unique and nice. As well as on your bombs get an increase in damage as well. So the Salem making his go to push there into the daring. And I'm going to shoot into this Illinois. This Illinois plays a really pesky game here for the most part. The Salem's now radaring both of these DDs, and at the time I'm kind of like, whoa, maybe don't do this, Salem. But honestly, it's what needed to be done here. Without this push here from the Salem, this game is going to be a little bit different. I look for shots here. I only have one gun available. I should have just waited the extra, second and a half there to maybe help out the Salem a little bit better, and waited for my dispersion to be a little bit greater here. The Hawaii is also going to be pushing into the Salem, which is the right move here, and trying to help out his DDs. And I'm kind of looking for shots here on the Hawaii. I can't quite get them yet, but I want to be helping out our Salem after that goated push that they just made. Can't get my bombs, and I'm kind of trying to look for shots there. Unfortunately, the Salem perishes there to the Hawaii. So again, we're down on points here. They are pushing the Bravo cap here, and we just lost our radar presence as well as a very, very solid cruiser off the board. Our Hoffman and our Summers are stalking these two battleships. Again, I'm not sure if our Hoffman even knows their torp range, because they're, I don't know, whatever. I don't, who knows, whatever. Here, anyways, here's Wonderwall. And back to this, the Hawaii now has noticed me and saw that they were broadside to me, so they kind of make a play here to not be so broadside to me. Again, I get some nice unique damage there on their booty. I noticed that the Hawaii is going to be beaching, so they're probably going to need to back up, so I'm going to go ahead and let these bombs kind of work over the Hawaii here. We're going to do some massive damage here to the Hawaii here in a moment, which unfortunate for them. They can't angle to those bombs. And absolutely kind of smash them. Somehow the Brandon picks up the kill there, but whatever, that is what it is. Hawaii is no longer there, so that's a dangerous boat off the board. We are still down a lot of points here. They've got 550 points, we have 283. Um, I'm already up to 165k. I do need to make something happen here. If you notice, I did burn my DCP there. Knowing that I've got a main over to my left here, and I'm going to have to stay bound to the main, I kind of thought to myself, I'm going to need all the HP and see what I can do. Um, and we are up a ship, but we are greatly down on points. I kind of tried to let the guys know in chat that we need Bravo here. That at least needs to be contested. Main pulls up in front of me here. Main's trying to reverse. I then put and apply some pressure onto them. Again, our Hoffman's kind of not in a position to really do anything. Our Patre is, unfortunately, I think for this Patre in this game, they were kind of pushed behind because there just wasn't any real screening until it was a little bit too late for them. The other unique thing about the William Durst is that it is quite speedy, and it does get access to a speed boost. So for this right now, I'm dropping on the main. If you look over to my left, I have the Illinois to my left, but I utilize this island to my right here to try to make it so, and another good bomb hit that picks up a fire, so that the Illinois can't be shooting me as well, and I'm only focusing on one boat here at a time while trying to stay bow on. The Illinois is just now able to get shots on me. This main decides to risk it for the biscuit and go broadside to me, and we 30k him there. Picked up my high caliber, and we're already at 237k. I still need to keep pushing here now that I noticed that the Illinois is where they're at, and the main is now pushing behind this island. I'm going to push the pace here over at the main, knowing that the Illinois cannot return fire on me at the moment while I'm healing here too, which is pretty good. Our Thumbs picks up the cap in Bravo. We are still down by almost 300 points there. Valparaiso's pushing in the middle, so what I'm going to do here is try to make a giant loop, because I know I'm going to have to eventually stay bow on to the Valparaiso, and that thing's just disgusting in what it can do here, but somebody's going to have to do it, and unfortunately our Patre is not in a position to do that. Our Benham is right behind that corner trying to shoot into these boats and pick up some damage. Benham plays a fantastic game here. I decide not to shoot the main because the Illinois is giving me broadside, and I kind of figure somebody can finish off the main there, and I need to do damage on the Illinois, picking up my Confederate and taking the Illinois down to about a quarter HP. I'm now going to try to angle out and stay bow on. Again, the Durst really kind of cheese armor on the side, but as long as you can kind of stay bow on like this, pretty Gucci. And the Illinois was shooting AP there at me too, which kind of beneficial for me at the moment. So that's nice. The Hoffman finally decides to help and decides to open up, which is nice. Patre gets involved here to help me out. The Hoffman picks up the kill. Here's Big Bad Valparaiso, our final boss here, who rams a dead carcass. And I get 4 ricochets there. That was unique, but at least we pick up the cap resets, which is fine. We're going to get a whole bunch of cap resets here. Honestly, from a standpoint too, I'm kind of thought this game would have been higher XP, but it wasn't. And the Lucian's here, so if you guys, again, notice in what I'm kind of doing here, there's an island right in front of me. I'm keeping that island between myself and the Lucian so that I don't eat the Lucian's torps, and all I'm eating is his gun damage. It would be really, really detrimental to me here if I were to just eat, the damage here from the torps as well. This Valpar's pushing into me, and our Patre tries to take some shots. I disable the Valpar's front guns. The Benham is helping me out greatly here with the Valparaiso. If you look at the damage that they're doing in there into the Valp, it's pretty nice. I've got 2 fires on me. Probably going to go down here, but I think we've done our part. Looking over here, I'm double fired by the Lucian. I'm now going to try to utilize this and get some damage over here on the Lucian. Again, Patre is trying to shoot, Benham's trying to shoot, but our Hoffman just doesn't want to help. So they're taking a unique angle, which is kind of awkward. Their enemy team is still up on points, and fortunately, I'm going to die here to the Hoffman, which is going to put us down on points. But yeah, not a bad showing here for the Durst. 300k, 301k, 12 cap resets, a high caliber and a Confederate. But the game still is the game still be close. So um, they're technically still up by almost 100 points here, and the Lushan, for all intents and purposes, if we don't get into the cap, it can basically just work over one of our cruisers. So um, this Hoffman here, kind of wish that the Hoffman would have got a little bit more involved and pushed up right to the cap. Right now, still from that standpoint of thinking, if the Hoffman were to push in the cap and at least contest, he would have the Benham here to help, as well as the Patre there behind him, and what they could do themselves with their guns. So you would hope that the Lushan would eventually go down. However, the Hoffman is not in a good position here, and trying to torp up, which again, Lushan gets Hydro, so those torps really aren't going to be doing a whole hell of a lot. At that standpoint, again, that's just knowledge of the boats that you're coming against and the situation. Really, what the Hoffman needs to be doing now is pushing into Alpha, just straight into Alpha. Forget about whatever you're doing with your torpedoes and or cutting out. I mean, they're kilometers away from the cap when they should be in the cap. Because now that's going to potentially leave this Brenham isolated against the Lushan here. And he's still turning, negating. They're still now, up by, close to 50 points here, 30 points, whatever, 40 points. And the game's, getting towards the end. So kind of, I mean, and turning away from the cap again to get off PEDs on something that has hydro, and that probably is nowhere near close to being in torp range anyways. Um, so that's really, really unfortunate. A bit frustrating even, one might say. So that is what it is. But yeah, the Bill, solid boat, man. It's a fun boat to play. You can pick up a bill in the armory as well, I believe still. But that's where I got mine. Um, Actually was a boat that my div mate Gino actually got me onto. He was playing a lot of it, and he said he really liked it and enjoyed it, as well as another friend of mine, Shenanigans. And I decided to get one as well, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a fun boat to play, very consistent boat as well. The guns are absolutely beautiful, as well as that captain perk on there, and then having those bombs to fall back on. The one thing you just got to kind of keep in mind is just not showing any of your broadside at all, or you will be smashed. All right, so Hoffman's finally in the cap. Our Brenham eats some Pete's here from the Lushan, and he's on a double flood, which is unfortunate, and the Lushan is working him over. Again, not a whole hell of a lot of time here, and this Benham is going to fall here to the Lushan. That puts them still up on points, which again is paramount as to, the Hoffman. Why were you not in the cap to begin with? If this could have been, I mean, if the Benham doesn't, kind of play it so right and push the Lushan like he did there, this Lushan could have turned around and maybe worked over the Hoffman and potentially picked up the win, as we just finally went over on points. So that's looking like it's going to be a win, thankfully. But definitely a bit of a comedy of errors here by both teams here, and for the most part, a slight DD difference here. As you looked at, Lushan picked up 5 kills, and they did some work there as well, which is unfortunate that that's going to be an L. I think that I played this fairly in a textbook manner and utilized map awareness as well as awareness of how to play the boat and best utilize the boat to keep my team in the game here. So if you guys are paying attention, kind of good times as to push and when not to push, when to slow up, when to utilize cover, and just map awareness as to what had shots on me and what didn't. Um, but yeah, showing and showcasing, really textbook bill play. Just staying bow on, making the guns sing, and then getting some good quality drops when you can. Again, I recommend the Bill or the William Durst. It's a fun boat to play. If you guys have not already picked one up, I would highly recommend picking one up. Again, as long as you can manage staying bow on and not turning broadside there, you should be okay. So that's the E in the William Durst. That is 301K, 6 assisted instructions, 4 citadels there, some in caps, some fires, 86 target hits, as well as 46 bomb hits and 12 base defended ribbons. So with this amount to a bit shocked here when it came to the XP, honestly. That's only 2.3K experience. Uh, would have thought that would have been a little bit higher with the amount of base defended ribbons I had, as well as bomb hits and stuff like that. As well as, if you look here, we tanked a fair amount of damage. We tanked almost 2 million damage there. Did a whole bunch of damage to a boat that was a tier higher than us, 75K to the main, 54K to the Y, 46 to the Republic, 38 to that, 32 there, and 29 to the Prince Albert, and 22 to the Valpar. Only 3.5K to the Lucian, but again, too, we also picked up a little bit of spotting damage. But this is a solid number from the William Durst. If you guys go into the port and you check out its armor layout, it's basically Swiss cheese on the sides. So I was fairly happy with that amount of damage tanked, and utilizing armor knowledge and how to stay bow on and kind of play these G3 class battle cruisers. But yeah, that was a 300 plus K E game in the William Durst. I wanted to show you guys this. Again, this happened on my stream last night, hanging out with my good buddy Mr. Gino. If you guys haven't already stopped by the stream, stop by. I'll be on again here in a little bit. So yeah, stop by, say hi. Hope everyone has a great week. Thank you all for stopping in, checking out the video. If you get an opportunity to, maybe subscribe. Hopefully throw this a like. If you throw this a like, that'd be helpful too, because hopefully more people could get a chance to see some expert badge gameplay in a boat that not a lot of people play. So there you go, guys. 300K game in the Durst. Please give it a like. Hope you guys all have a great day. I'll check you all later.